Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome to the Coaching Show with your host, Master Certified Coach Christopher McCullough.
Thank you, Dick Warren, and thank you, my dear listener, for being here today. You can tell right there, there's going to be a few sound effects that are unscheduled and unplanned. I apologize for that, but I'm glad you're here. You, my friend, you know how you are. You have chosen a beautiful day to be here. We're going to learn about two of the leaders. We're going to talk to founders of companies, which already is worth your time, the price of admission here. But we're also going to talk to an extraordinary coach who's going to be my guest co-host, and we're going to talk to the originators of, are you ready? Holstee. You know that Holstee Manifesto that everybody has been sending you on Facebook and everywhere else? We're going to talk to the guy that created the company, Holstee, and we're going to talk to the founder of Noomii. You know how all your friends and other coaches are getting tons of clients from Noomii? I'm going to talk to those people too and find out all about Noomii. So it's an excellent day to be here. What do we need to talk about in the world? Nothing. It's October, mid-October, too late for most of the conferences, too early for many things. Let's get a couple of business items out of the way. Hey, if you love coaching, if you're interested in coaching, if you know anything about coaching, chances are you've encountered the International Coach Federation. And we are proud, delighted, honored, humbled to be a media partner with them. We've been, this is our fourth year of media partnership with the International Coach Federation. And it's great for us. It's an opportunity for us to support the fine folks involved in the association. Listen, if you don't know about the International Coach Federation, also known as the ICF, here's what you need to know. It's the leading global organization dedicated to advancing the coaching profession. They do that by setting high standards, providing independent certification and credentialing for coaches, as well as accreditation of coach training programs, and building a worldwide network of trained coaching professionals. So I know there are maybe 2 or 3 organizations of coaches, but the ICF is clearly the dominant one, the preeminent one in the world. And if you haven't checked them out, I invite you to go immediately to coachfederation.org. That's coachfederation.org. If you're a member, like I am, the ICF elicits instant credibility for you, and a credential, such as a PCC or an MCC, as I have, will get you in the door to almost any organization worldwide. In addition, being part of the world's largest organization of professionally trained coaches means you can access information, contacts, people. When a friend of mine's recently bid on something in Singapore, an opportunity in Singapore, and went and contacted the local coaches there through the ICF to find out about, what's appropriate and how to approach an opportunity in Singapore. So there's lots of learning for you. In addition, my favorite thing is the ICF is the world's largest storehouse of research and information on coaching. So if you need to prove the ROI of coaching, or if you're filling out an RFP and you're not exactly sure how that goes, almost anything you can think of is there, available somewhere on the ICF website at coachfederation.org, or you can talk to the folks there, pardon me, and get whatever you're looking for. Also, the ICF is committed to connecting professional coaches with the tools and resources you need to succeed in your career, and that means everything from what you should charge or what the going rate is in your town or in your field or in your level of expertise to anything that you might need. I invite you to go check them out in the online at coachfederation.org, or check out their Twitter. Subscribe, follow them. Why not? It's all the kids are doing it. ICF on Twitter is at ICFHQ, at ICFHQ. In addition, we have an ICF representative on this year's show every quarter, and we've had everybody from the executive director to the membership director to the people that are in charge of research. Really extraordinary guests at from the ICF. Check them out in the archives here. So if you didn't get the message, go to coachfederation.org. That's what you should do right now. Now, one more shout out to a longtime sponsor. Actually, let's get Steph in here. Here's who you need to know. Steph Williamson is an extraordinary coach. I met her recently in the Pacific Northwest, and she works with leaders, creatives, and badasses, specifically young leaders who want to live and lead their way. And she is an example of that. She is chock full of information, leadership, and pizzazz. She says, this is not your old boss's leadership, and I just want to be clear for the next 55 minutes, I'm going to be her old boss. Steph Williamson, hello.
Hello, Christopher.
Hi, welcome. Look around outside.
Nice
Where do you find yourself? Where are you?
I am currently in Oceanside, California, so just north of you guys in San Diego.
Oh, wave! I can see you. Yeah. Hey, if people want to, people fall in love with you as I have on this here show, and they want to contact you about professional opportunities, working together, finding out more about the work you do. Where do we go? Where do we do? How do we do that?
Yeah, you can check out my website, which is stephwill.com.
Well, say it again. Say it again. Yeah.
stephwill.com.
Okay, ST, go ahead. ST, I got that part.
STEPHWILL.com.
Great. And I wanted to get you in here because the other thing we got to shout out to is a long time. I'm getting signals from the booth, and all I can tell you is I think I'm supposed to steal third base. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm doing. All right, here's what I want to talk about is accomplishment coaching. Steph, give us a little teaser about accomplishment coaching and how they are the world's finest coach training program, and then we'll talk more about them after the break, okay?
Absolutely. Accomplishment coaching is home to me, but it's home to so many. Our community is so deep and wide. We really reach all sorts of people from all over, and we are like a family. It's the world's finest coaches training program because we take a whole new approach and really have people get in there and coach all the time. I love being a leader in training with accomplishment coaching and watching coaches and leaders from all backgrounds, all ages, and all experience levels joining us to refine their craft and build coaching businesses that totally blow up their life.
Nice. And you can find out more by going to accomplishmentcoaching.com. We're delighted that they have been a sponsor of this here program for 15 years. We were just counting the other day, 15 years. All right, let's get to it. Here's a guy you need to know. Michael Radparvar is the co-founder of Holstee, which is a lifestyle company which helps conscious people to live a more meaningful life. You know, like us, right, Steph?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Got to stay with me, Steph. I don't know about you. I found out about Holstee by seeing this thing called the Holstee Manifesto. Have you seen that, Steph?
Yeah, totally. All over Facebook and Instagram.
Right? And I loved it. I'm immediately drawn to it. It's awesome. And then I found out there's this whole company behind it. The Holstee Manifesto was called the next, quote, Just Do It by the Washington Post. Been translated into 13 languages. But now there's a Holstee membership. So let's get Michael in here and let's find out what's going on. Michael Radparvar, welcome to the microphone, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. Great to be here.
Great. You're on with Christopher McAuliffe and Steph Williamson. Try and watch yourself. She's fast, man. She's moving. All right.
Welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Holstee. What are you doing over there?
So today, Holstee is a subscription or membership for personal growth inspired by the science of mindfulness and positive psychology.
Nice. So you're literally making the world a better place.
Well, it's a journey, and I think there's definitely some self-motivation in there of us wanting to learn and explore these things, and we found that this was a great avenue for Holstee to take. Also, we didn't start doing this, and we can kind of go in that direction now or later, but we essentially started off as an apparel company, and over time morphed to this space. Yeah.
What were you doing? You were doing these things like the manifesto on shirts or trouser pants or what?
Well, wow, that combination of those two things.
You're welcome. Yeah.
That's I'm gonna write that down. And funny to this date, we actually haven't put the manifesto on the T-shirt, even though that has been a highly requested item. But that's another story. But we started off by putting T-shirt pockets on T-shirts, holster position pockets on T-shirts. That's where we got the name. Holster, pocket, T-shirt, Holstee.
I see it now.
Right. Okay. Very, very practical in our thinking, and the name kind of never changed. It stuck, and we were selling those shirts. We were making those shirts, and we had at the same time we wrote our own definition for success, which is now known as the Holstee Manifesto. And it was basically our way of saying, you know, regardless of what happens, we know that in life we can be successful if we take out the financial terms, if we're able to kind of just do this for ourselves. And it was never meant to be a prescription for anyone else. It was just kind of the things that we wanted to make sure we were doing in our own lives. And over time, as we were making those shirts, we were doing that for maybe the first 2.5 years of our company. We started in 2009. And we found very quickly that we really had no business making T-shirts. We ended up making what was probably the most expensive shirts on the market, and we also didn't want to sell them for too much because we wanted them to be shirts that people like our friends and a lot of people could afford. But because at that time it was impossible to get it was really difficult to find fitted organic cotton shirts that weren't huge and boxy. Now you can just walk into a Target and get a really great organic cotton shirt or recycled shirt or something like that. But we ended up having to source our own fabric, make our own patterns, and we wanted to create everything in the most sustainable, socially conscious way. And as a result, that product very quickly became not viable just because of the scale that we were operating. But at that same time, we had created something else that started to really resonate with people all around the world, and that was the message behind the manifesto.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah,
I
Michael,
love this story. Go.
I would love to know how that journey was for you. Posting your manifesto and watching it go viral and translated into 13 different languages.
Right.
Can you
at
tell
the
me
same
a little
time,
bit about what it went from that?
Right. At the same time, having the T-shirt business sort of tank. That's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, man, it was nuts because we posted it. It was kind of tucked away on the about section of our website, and I remember it happened. It felt like it happened very suddenly. Like we came in. We checked Twitter, and we were kind of like logged in, and then all of a sudden we had tons of notifications that we were just being tagged in, or we had searches going for the word Holstee on places like Twitter, and all of a sudden it was just popping up everywhere. And it started off on Tumblr, then it was being shared pretty much everywhere on Twitter, and then on Facebook. And before we knew it, we had friends who were traveling in different parts of the world, and they would be going to a youth hostel, and they would say that it was painted up on the lobby walls of the youth hostel. But then it was funny because it had this juxtaposition where swanky hotels in Europe were also contacting us because they wanted to license it and put it in their hotel. And everyone from NPR was writing a story about it, and Paris Hilton was posting it to her Instagram. So it was this fascinating situation where it seemed to really cross socioeconomic and social and boundaries in a way that we were totally humbled by and just kind of blown away by. And I think it got to a point where we just had to take a step back and really examine what is it that really is resonating here, because there's nothing when you read the manifesto, there's nothing in there that's a radically new way of thinking. And the one thing that we've heard from most people is that it was just it was a great summation, a bringing together of lines and things that are important to them all in one place, and that it just hadn't been, for a lot of people, it was like, I haven't had it all in one place like that for me. And I think it just, for a lot of people, that's what resonated really, really hard.
I have to ask, is there anyone who approached you where you were like, no? Like, did ISIS say, hey, we want to use this manifesto? And you were like, no.
We were actually, for better or worse, we were very protective about, there were a lot of companies that were coming to us and wanting to put it on magnets and all these things. We actually passed on a lot of licensing options very early on, and for a while because it was just it was such a personal thing, and it was such a big part of our brand. And I know that I'm sure on the financial side, a lot of people would have thought that was pretty crazy to do. But we were pretty protective about how it would be used in commercial environments. But we also, at the same time, we were like, this is a message we definitely want people to be able to see and use in their own life if they connect with it. So we definitely had to walk that balance quite a bit. ISIS to this day hasn't contacted us though.
Well, it's, they probably just didn't have the idea. Let's talk about the move. Well, okay, sorry, we gotta plug you because you're giving a great opportunity. So you realized, hey, the Manifesto's rising in popularity and excitement, and the T-shirts not so much. So at what point do you make that business decision and say, you know what, we're actually going to shift the entire company and get into conscious, meaningful life and create a membership? What's that meeting like when you make that decision?
So just to backstep for a moment, we were always incredibly environmentally and socially conscious. Like that was at the bedrock of starting Holstee. I would say we were more of an activist style company than we were even. That's probably why we weren't good at making shirts, because we were so focused on making shirts that all the materials were sourced within 50 or 100 miles of each other.
You had me at organic cotton T-shirt, right? Exactly.
But the element of kind of personal development and really taking a more reflective and understanding what it means to live fully and mindfully, that and like really that being a guiding part of the direction the company's going. That started about 3 years ago, and the membership really started more as a component to another product that we created, which was called the Reclaim Frame, and that was something that we put on Kickstarter. And it was a frame that was meant to just host a 5x7 print, and it has no glass or moving parts, and you can just slide art in and out of it. And the wood was all sourced from abandoned buildings in Detroit, Michigan. So we were working with someone who is, there's all these buildings that are slated for demolition in Michigan, and they are going in and like mindfully deconstructing them and using the wood for projects like this. So we're working with them to use that wood to make the frames. And so we launched that project on Kickstarter, and one of the prizes that we put on was the option to get art sent to you every month that you can swap out. Where the idea is you would put the new one in the frame because it's really easy and fun to kind of swap out art, and you gift the old one to someone with like a note, and we'd include like a stamp and all that, and then you just have that way you have fresh art and it has like a pay it forward model built into it. Oh. And we had that
That's so phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so interestingly, the frames did really well, but so we offered that as like a 6-month option that we would just give, every month we'll send you this. And that prize package not only was the most well-received prize package, but it after the end of the 6 months, we had a lot of people saying, I really want to continue this. And so we at the time, we had an office space in Brooklyn. We were all working from out of Gowanus in Brooklyn, and we had a bunch of different projects going on. We were hosting dinners, we were doing yoga classes, we were expanding our product line, moving much more into home goods, and this like kind of sending out of this art was one of like many things we were doing. And if I'm going to be totally honest, we were doing so many things which really fed our entrepreneurial desire, but I can't honestly say that we were doing all those things with a great deal of focus and to the best of our ability. And I think that started to have an impact on both our team and our morale, and we ended up having to make some very difficult decisions, deciding on, we basically realizing, okay, we can't do all these things, and we have to, less but better was our focus. And which is funny because our theme for May is simplicity. So we're like, this is a great moment. Let's 80-20 our business, identify what are the things that are working really well. And one of the things that we did see that we wanted to continue and had a strong case for continuing was this kind of like rotating of art. And so that was the genesis of the membership, and we kind of started to really build on it from there over the last 2 years. And it's taken on a much deeper form, which now turned into the Holstee membership.
It's awesome. You should go to Holstee, Holstee, remember Holster T, Holstee.com. And here's the thing. Mike is not just a great guy. He's not just an interesting interview and an interesting conversation. But Michael Radparvar has provided for you 30% off. Our listeners can get 30% off your first 3 months by using the code Coaching Show. Easy to remember, right, Steph? Coaching Show.
Yep.
Coaching Show. In the little thing. And I just did it. because I, love a deal, and it works. So you should do that now. Holstee.com. Michael, what are you up to next? I love hearing the stories about how you've come this far, but now you're sort of in the vanguard. You're in the lead at the tip of the arrow of the spear here in the conscious, mindful living movement, someplace you might not have thought you were going to end up. What are you up to next? What are you doing personally to develop? What's out there?
So as I mentioned, it's even though we've been around as a company for 8 or 9 years, I feel like we've launched 3 different companies throughout different phases of Holstee, and this feels like a very new, young company for me once again. And so for us, it's been really getting to understand both the people in our community and for ourselves where we really want to take this. And so one thing that we've been doing is making time to talk to every single person who's as many of our members as possible, literally for like 30 to 45 minutes, and just understanding what's important for them and crafting a very valuable experience for them around this. Because like I mentioned, when we first started, it was just sending art, and today it's kind of progressed to, or actually at the very beginning, it was just a greeting card. And now it's like a high quality letterpress print that every month is designed by a different designer around the world who takes one of the themes that takes the theme of the month and visually interprets it. And then we pair that also with a guide that is heavily researched and basically takes the most essential nuggets of wisdom that we've identified and boils them down into here's the core things that you would need to know about this theme. And just to give some sense, because I know I've talked about the themes are things like intention, kinship, wellness, compassion, simplicity, adventure, creativity. So these are all attached to a specific month, all the way through to gratitude in November and reflection in December. And so every month, these are obviously huge themes that have a lot of both like science and philosophy behind them. And so we see our job at Holstee as identifying who are the biggest thinkers on these topics for each month, and just distilling down that information in a way that's very accessible, very memorable, and actionable for people in their own life. And because we're a very design-forward company, our huge goal is to do this in a way that it's fun to do and it's a joy to hold. Otherwise, it's very easy to...
Absolutely, Michael.
It
already sounds wonderful. And what I'm really curious about is who comes to the Holstee community, who subscribes to your group and gets involved in these themes. What do you see across your membership? We are,
I would say it skews mostly female. It's probably about 60 to 70% female, which, I feel like this is the female energy here of just like being proactive about, your personal development, understanding. So I think us males have a lot to learn in that respect. But it's...
well, let's bring you some more males. Christopher, do you think we can do that?
We can. Michael, we got just about 2.5 minutes left, so I want to I know that you may have some things you want to share with our community, and I want to give you that time. Are we agreed, Steph? We'll just let Michael extemporaneize-ish here. Michael, if you had something to say to 50,000 coaches today, what would you have us know?
I would say that you're asking about our community. I would say about 25% of our community is actually our coaches in many different respects, whether it's executive coaches, life coaches, and from what I've heard from them is that this is kind of their secret weapon in a lot of ways, that they are able to use this, whether they're gifting it to clients or using it as just great thought starters in their discussions with clients. And so we've developed a great relationship with those people because it's with the coaches in our community because it's been hugely mutually beneficial for us. So I would, if you're a coach and you're interested, I would love to talk to you, learn more about what you're doing and how we can support you.
Beautiful. Okay.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that gave us a ton of time to left over. Steph, do you have one more quickie here?
What's the theme for this month? Tell us about that.
The theme for October is integrity.
Oh,
and so, integrity is, the word integrity gets tossed around a lot, but when you really dive in and what does integrity mean, I think it's both timely right now, but also because, it's basically matching with what's important to you with what you do and how you display yourself in the outside world. And if those things are out of balance, then you could say you maybe could do a better job at living with integrity. But when you're able to really tee up those two things, that's when we're whole. And there's just so much fascinating science behind it. But the art for this month, we stole a quote from Heraclitus, who is a pre-Socratic philosopher, and his quote was, "The soul is dyed the color of its thoughts." And that was just, for us, that was really powerful, that, our thoughts become our actions, and our actions become essentially our character and who we are. And when we can connect the thoughts and values that are important for us with our actions, we're whole.
And that ends up being the perfect note to end on. Once again, the website is Holstee, HOLSTEE.com, and if you put coaching show in it as a discount code, you can get 30% off your first 3 months. That's Michael Radparvar. We're here at the Coaching Show. We'll come back with more with Steph Williamson and the founder of Noomii right after this. Stay with us.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Are you seeking to change your career to something that is both fulfilling and challenging? Do you want to help people reach their full potential and strive to achieve their dreams? Would you like to inspire those around you and help create a better world? If you're serious about a career change or just want to explore the craft of personal coaching, contact Accomplishment Coaching. With locations across the country in Washington, D.C., Seattle, Chicago, New York City, and San Diego, Accomplishment Coaching is the leading institution in personal coaching. Our staff carefully monitors the entire program, live during the training process, and have met the strict standards of ICF International to achieve accreditation. Through a focus on quality instruction rather than endless modules of training, Accomplishment Coaching will guide you from your very first step all the way to becoming one of the finest coaches in the world. Visit AccomplishmentCoaching.com to learn more. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach.
Christopher McAuliffe is your source for the latest in the world of personal coaching. Whether it be speaking with such luminaries as Deepak Chopra or getting the newest techniques and innovation, the Coaching Show is always on the cutting edge of what's happening now.
Gotham Books presents Marriage Rules by Harriet Lerner. The book Martha Beck calls required reading for anyone hoping to interact successfully with any other human, not just for those in romantic relationships. Get your copy wherever books and ebooks are sold, and visit harrietlerner.com to learn how to change your marriage today.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome back to the Coaching Show with your host, Master Certified Coach Christopher McCullough.
Thank you very much. And listen, my dear listeners, you are in for a treat today. Not only did we just have Michael Radparvar talk about Holstee and the Holstee Manifesto, but we've got a special guest star, a special guest co-host today. Steph Williamson is a coach who coaches, let me see if I can remember, leaders, creatives, and badasses. Specifically young leaders who want to live and lead their way. Steph Williamson, say hello, people, to the people.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Christopher. This is so much fun.
Thanks for being had. Steph is available at Steph Will. That's STEPHWILL.com. And Steph, before the first interview, we talked a little bit about accomplishment coaching. And here's what I want people to know. If you're like me, well, God help you if you are, but if you are, you look for the finest, the best, the top quality of stuff. You know, you're not interested in the bottom quality or maybe the most popular thing, but you're looking for, especially when it comes to professional education, the world's finest. And accomplishment coaching has, from its very beginning, been designed to be the world's finest coach training program, and they're not kidding, and it's not hype. There are more hours of actual in-person training. There are more hours of actually being coached. There are more hours of actually coaching real-life humans, not just your fellow students, but real humans that come in from the outside world. There's more about your business, and accomplishment coaching graduates are by far more successful and earning more money than most graduates of any other program. Accomplishment coaching, you got to check it out. And one of the things that, Steph, I know you love this about accomplishment coaching. One of the things that I love is you can go and observe their coach training program. You can look behind the curtain. It's not a presentation. It's not a sales pitch. You just go and actually watch them do their work. And if it resonates for you, great. And if it doesn't, great. There's even a question and answer period. So, man, if you love top quality education or just want to find out what the best training in coaching is, please check out Accomplishment Coaching. Steph, pop quiz. Do you know what cities they can find accomplishment coaching in?
Absolutely. Here on the West Coast, you can find us in Seattle.
West Side.
San Diego. Yeah,
Keep
Seattle,
going.
San Diego, and Victoria, British Columbia. That is our Canadian branch now. And on the other side of the country, you can find us in New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C.
That's great. Beautifully done. The other side. The thing that
The other side.
So remember earlier the genius in the booth, Wade in the booth, was telling me to steal third and waving at me and everything, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So, you know, we started doing this on YouTube, right? We started streaming live and also doing visuals on YouTube. I'm sitting here with my glasses on my eyes and my headphones on my head, but I also had my sunglasses on my head. So just an apology to those that took a moment to look at YouTube, only to find out that I'm a knucklehead. All right. So check out
You're just stylish in your own way, Christopher.
Thank you. This is why you do so well with us old bosses. So go immediately to accomplishmentcoaching.com. Check them out. If you know it's for you, sign up. You'll never, ever be sad. 100%. Check this out. 100% of graduates have said that it was well worth whatever money, time, or energy they put in, and that it transformed them and their life. That 100%. Man, you can't find 100% of people that like, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, much less 100% of people that are satisfied with their coach training program. That's amazing. All right. Anything else we need to talk, or we should get Stephan in here, right?
Let's talk with Stephan.
Okay, you want to do his little bio intro? I want to give you some time here.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephan is dedicated to increasing the total tonnage of happiness in the world by spreading coaching to the masses. As a certified coach, he provides kick-ass accountability for entrepreneurs and free thinkers who want to forge their own unique path. I love that. In 2007, Stephan founded Noomii.com, the professional coach directory, to help people find their ideal coach. Since then, he has helped generate over 10,000 client leads for coaches while learning the art and science of marketing. As an internet entrepreneur, Stephan enjoys being location independent so he can spend as much time as possible with his wife and kids doing things they love. You can find Noomii at NOOMII.com.
Let's welcome to our microphone Stephan Wiedner. Hello, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, look around outside. Where are you in the world?
I'm in beautiful British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, such a beautiful spot. We were just there in Victoria. Oh, all right. Everybody I know, almost everyone I know, many coaches I know, have signed up for Noomii and credit it with blowing up their practice. It's one of the few things that I'm aware of. You know, people do things, right? They do the Get Clients Now. They do the Book Yourself Solid. They do stuff, right? And usually there's some sort of impact. But for some reason, at least the people I'm talking to, have a huge return on their investment with Noomii. How come you're successful where all these other programs are moderately successful? How come you're so widely successful, I should ask?
I think that a big differentiator is we actually bring client leads to coaches as opposed to teaching them some technique or special knowledge about client acquisition. We deliver clients straight to their inbox. So that's an awful convenience for coaches, especially early on when they're struggling to fill their practice or get the number of clients that they really want.
Man, super simple. How do you find these leads, though? What are you doing that we're not doing? And will you tell us so that we can start doing it?
Well, we have a solution where we show up in the Google search results, whether it's through ads or just through organic search results. And the benefit is that we have thousands of coaches, and that's often the value proposition. We say, hey, are you looking for a coach? We have a lot of them. And people come to us as a result. So if you're a solo practitioner, I don't know if you can compete with that value proposition, right? Because you're only a single practitioner. And so we're targeting the keywords that are relevant to our audience, to our potential clients who are in the search of a coach predominantly. Now we're expanding beyond that, but those are predominantly our customers, and they really like that message of we have thousands of coaches. So they believe, oh, okay, this is the place I need to go because there's a lot of coaches here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also support your coaches in a really unique way. Will you tell us a little bit about the initiatives you've done to support your members?
Absolutely. So as we mentioned already, we do generate leads for coaches. We bring them clients who are searching for a coach right to their inbox, and yet we can't fill your practice. It's not practical given the scope of our business where we have lots of coaches. And so we want coaches to be doing other activities to be growing their business. And for one, we have what we call Coach Marketing Bootcamp. So it's an online program. They can go through it. It's 10 weeks long. And we also recommend that while they're going through that program, which is chock-a-block full of really valuable information that we've collected over the last 10 years talking to the most successful coaches in our network. And so what we did is we interviewed those coaches and we said, what are you doing? How are you building your practices? How have you gotten to this place that we call coaching nirvana, where you basically just have to pick up your phone and say, yeah, okay, I'll coach you. And guess what? My rates just went up by 20%, and they take it, right? They're willing to pay that extra, those fees. And those coaches have divulged all kinds of useful information that we share in this Coach Marketing Bootcamp. But furthermore, we obviously, as coaches, recognize the value of coaching, and so we have another service, which is all included in our annual price, which is called the Coaching Circle. And so we recommend that coaches hook up through the Coaching Circle. The way it works is when you sign up, you get a coach and a client. So Bill coaches Nancy, Nancy coaches Fred, and then Fred coaches Bill, kind of thing.
Oh, you don't want to be coached by Bill. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
I heard bad things about Bill. Well, the beauty is if you don't want to be coached by Bill, you just ask for a different coach, and we accommodate all sorts of personal requests. So the point is you have a coach and you have a client, so you can practice your skills, and you can also be coached, and you learn from other people's skills. For example, other accomplishment coaches, and you learn about their abilities versus your own if you have a different type of training. And we also encourage coaches to go through Coach Marketing Bootcamp, because we all know what it's like to purchase or sign up for some sort of online program, and it's a self-study thing, and you do it in 1 week, or you do it in 20, or you do it in a year, or for the most part you don't do it at all. So if you
that's
have
more
that,
like it.
Yeah, exactly. Good intentions. It's sort of like getting that gym membership on January 4th.
Right.
There's just no follow through. So we encourage coaches to go through that program with a coaching partner. And, in addition to all of that, we have a blog. And so we're constantly sharing information about how to market your services. And I'd say last but not least, we have awesome customer support. So we have folks that are working for us that are super passionate about helping coaches. And so if ever you have any problems, and if you are a member of Noomii, I say pick up the phone, call us, dial our 1-800 number, and we'll do our best to help you out.
Beautiful. That's very supportive. I noticed, though, that in our introduction, we said you're a coach. So how did you sound like a marketing expert? How did you get from coach, to creating such a brilliant idea and such an effective organization in marketing and selling coaching?
Well, I started my journey, I went into coach training, and then I started coaching and building my business. I was doing that for about 2 years.
Sure.
And and so I had that first-hand experience of, I would say, coming out of training, stepping out into the street and going, wow, look at this sea of opportunity. Everyone that just walked by me could benefit from coaching.
Right.
And yet when I started talking to people, I didn't know how to speak about coaching, and I didn't know how to properly market my services, and so I struggled. And then came around to wanting to do something online. I was young at the time. I was in my mid-20s when I started coaching, and everybody else seemed to be older, and so it was very natural for me to want to do something online. And I started investigating SEO and online marketing, and I was building my own website and doing it all kind of my own self. And then from that, I met up with my business partner Kurt, who we were friends in university, mostly through mutual friends, and then we started talking about putting coaching online somehow, and next thing you know, we're in business together, and now it's been 10 years.
Brilliant.
That's an amazing journey.
Steph, I was going to ask you to talk about the offer, the very generous offer that Stefan's created for our listeners today. Do you have it there?
Absolutely. For our listeners, we have $100 off of the Noomii 1-year subscription. So that's $100 off, where the subscription is regularly $397. So when you use this discount code WSR Radio or WS Radio, and the offer expires on the 31st, but you get $100 off of a 1-year subscription. That's an amazing deal.
It really is. And again, the discount code is WS Radio, and it expires October 31st, so don't mess around. Do it right now. Do it. Don't put it on your list of things to do. Do it now. The website is Noomii, NOOMII.com. Stephan, you were talking about you've got some new things in the works. It would seem to me that connecting, I don't know how many coaches there are in the world, but likely under 100,000 coaches, maybe 75, somewhere in there, worldwide, that there's plenty of business on a 7 billion person planet for that number of coaches. What are you doing now? Where are you expanding? What are you creating?
Great question. Our next focus for the next year is more, or probably more than the next year, but Noomii is predominantly a B2C business, so we're targeting individuals who are looking for coaching.
Right.
And where we want to focus in the next few years is on the B2B market. We recognize that even though there's a lot of businesses that are using coaching and hiring coaches, either internally or externally, we recognize that there's a massive opportunity there as people gain awareness around this whole thing called coaching and what it can do for you and what it can do for your people within the business. And so that's where we want to start to focus our energy on targeting corporations who are looking to bring coaching within their organizations.
Beautiful. That's a brilliant idea. Can I buy stock? How do I get involved in this? That's a brilliant idea. All right. So let's talk about what people are doing wrong. Right now, in this moment, this day, coaches are waking up all over this great land of ours and blowing it. in their marketing or selling. If you could wave your magic wand, Stephan, and tell coaches everywhere something to either stop doing immediately or start doing immediately, what would it be?
Well, I would say that in the world of marketing, there's two major forms of marketing. The first is called hunting, and the other is called farming. Hunting, you grab a club, you go out there, you smack someone over the head, and there you've got a meal. The problem with that is, even though you can get a meal very quickly, it doesn't last forever. Farming, on the other hand, you have to plant seeds, you pour water, you need sunshine, etc. And only after, say, a year, you have a crop that you can that produces for you. But that crop can produce for years and years, especially if you plant, let's say, an apple tree, right? An apple tree, you might not get any fruit for 3 or 4 years, but suddenly you have many. And so when it comes to marketing, what I see predominantly in the industry is coaches want to do the farming activity. They want to sit behind their computer, they want to do some blogging, or they want to write a book, these sorts of things, but nothing beats hunting, especially at the beginning. I know it sounds somewhat barbaric, but the point is you need to be having conversations. You need to be engaging people around you, saying, do you know what coaching is? No? Okay, well, I'd like to offer you a free consultation. Why don't you just experience it? It's really hard to explain what coaching is. People need to experience it. And if every coach out there went right now in the next 60 days and aimed at delivering one free consultation per day to all of their friends and family, their neighbors, and I say friends and family because you start there, not because they're going to hire you, but because you want to just have more and more people experience the power of coaching, even just for one session. So, and that's how you explain it. You say, look, hey, cousin, I want to give you a coaching session, not because I want you to hire me, because I want you to experience the power of coaching, and maybe you're going to hire someone else down the road or even tomorrow. So, but I also want you to know what I'm doing and what I'm up to. And the more you do that, you start with your inner circle and you slowly move outward. If you can do that, I swear, if you can deliver one free sample session per day for the next 60 days, you're going to have a dozen clients. And that'd be pretty awesome. I think most coaches would agree. So you just got to get out of your comfort zone and start talking to people. Have those direct conversations.
Absolutely. When you start with those inner circles and then go out, you probably get really good at those consultation sessions by the time you're talking to those bigger clients.
Absolutely. The last thing you want to do is have a really big fish on your line, and then they say, okay, so what do you charge? And suddenly you balk a little bit because you haven't rehearsed, you haven't practiced, you haven't used those skills of asking for money or having that conversation with confidence. If someone is not confident that you can help them because you're lacking confidence, they're not going to hire you. They're just not.
It's really true. And it's true, I think, in everything, right? The minute I'm having some work done at the house now, and the minute a contractor shows up and, I'm like, what's this about? What's this going to cost? And they're like, I know that's not the guy, right, or woman. I'm looking for the person who can come in and say, this is about a $10,000 job or something like that, because that tells me they've done this before, they know what they're talking about, they can, eyeball it and tell us something. So same thing with coaches. We need to know and have said to ourselves in the mirror, if no one else, I charge X dollars, so that when somebody asks us, we can say it. What about a lot of coach training programs that I'm aware of emphasize the importance of like niche, or being able to say, hey, I coach, left-handed creatives who are, in marriages that don't work, or some very specific thing. Do you have a notion about that over at Noomii? Are you empowering niches? Are you thinking it's not such a good idea? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I'll start with those folks that we interviewed, the six-figure coaches, and there were some of them that did not have a niche. And but what we discovered is that if they did not have a niche, and what appears to be true is that it's a little bit more challenging. So yes, I'm an advocate for choosing a niche, being really clear on it, and being able to kind of own that space, be the expert for those types of individuals. It's tricky. A lot of coaches struggle with that because they hear it so much, choose a niche, choose a niche, choose a niche, and then they have a really difficult time honing in on it. But I do think that it's incredibly valuable, and for those who have really done a good job, it seems to make life a lot easier for them.
Beautiful. What do you got, Steph?
Well, I'm really curious about the niche part, too. How did you come up with yours? Since you've kind of dug into marketing and selling, what was the best advice you took yourself and could give our coaches here that would help them get to that niche for themselves?
Great question. So I hired a branding consultant to come up with my niche. And I think there's one major step that needs to be done for all coaches. I think there's three, but the first one is you really need to look at your unique traits and qualities and try to derive your client niche from that. So let me maybe give you an example. Let's say you're someone you're really good at numbers. And, your whole life you've been able to just work with numbers and you have this unconscious competence. And maybe even to some extent, you don't think you're that good with numbers because you've developed and honed that skill but by trying to overcome some lack or some inability to process numbers. And so that is a gift that you have. It's like a natural affinity that you have. So the next question you need to ask is, how does this manifest as a benefit to my ideal clients? I think that's a really good question to ask. But first of all, coming back to sort of that natural talent or that gift, there's a lot of different ways you can ask yourself that question and try to find the answer. And one really good question is you look at your quirks. How do the people around you, the ones who know you best, how do they recognize you? What are some of those quirks that tend to drive them a little bit crazy? Maybe you're super duper organized and it's just like, oh man, here she is going to make a list again. You have lists of lists kind of thing. Or maybe you're just so into spirituality or something that other people are kind of repelled by. They're like, oh my gosh, okay, we're going to talk about my chakras again. If that's your thing, then you want to ask, okay, maybe it drives the people closest to you a little bit crazy, but that's your unique strength. And then you need to ask, how does that manifest as a benefit to your ideal clients? Who truly sees that as a benefit? And those are your ideal clients. Those are the people you want to be targeting.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, Christopher once told me, if you can't fix it, feature it.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Pretty sure that wasn't original with me, but thanks for the shout out.
But I heard it first from you.
Nice. Well, we're down to about a last minute or so. So I want to give that minute to you, Stephan. What would you like 50,000 coaches to know today? What's something you would leave us with?
Oh, wow.
I really...
Steph, sorry.
Go ahead.
It was for Stephan. Sorry.
Yeah. A little confusing, both of us.
Right, sorry about that.
I know, look at that.
I would say it comes down to, I think a lot of coaches are super compelled by aha moments, right? Like we really get clients to open their eyes and go, whoa. And that's awesome. That's part of the power of coaching. But I think one of the pieces that is missed, especially when it comes to marketing, when it comes to building your practice, is it's not enough to have an aha moment. You need to be practicing. I mentioned that earlier, right, when we talked about delivering those sample sessions. You got to get good at that. How do you get good at that? Practice. How do you practice? Well, start with your mom and your cousin because they're not going to kick you out the door, before you start interviewing or providing a consultation to the CEO of Coca-Cola. Work your way up, and nothing beats getting in the trenches, getting your hands dirty, and doing the work, especially when it comes to marketing. So whether it's blogging, writing, speaking on the radio, giving workshops, etc., give yourself a little bit of time and maybe a little bit of there's some gentleness there because I think we expect that we should be able to get it right away. But
beautiful. Yeah, well, that's a great note to leave us on, and I thank you so much. That's Stephan Wiedner. He is the co-founder of Noomii, and you can find them on Noomii. Steph, now's your chance. What would you like to leave us with today? Steph Williamson at StephWill.com.
I say get involved in these communities and really build yourself because that's how we change the world.
Beautiful. That's StephWill.com. We will talk to you next week.
Join culinary masters and legendary winemakers for one of the largest Epicurean celebrations, the 14th annual San Diego Bay Wine and Food Festival. From November 12th through the 19th, this week-long extravaganza features celebrity and local chefs, 200 amazing wineries, 70 of San Diego's best restaurants, and it's a week of citywide events. Go to vinvillage.com to save big on select tickets. For event and hotel packages, visit sandiegowineclassic.com. That's sandiegowineclassic.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, Scale listener. This is David Finkel, co-host with Jeff Hoffman of Scale Your Business. I wanted to let you know that our newest book, Scale, was just released, and to encourage you to get your copy. The book will give you 7 proven principles to grow your business and get your life back. Scale will help you work less by getting your business to produce more. Get your copy online or at your local bookseller. For more information, visit us online at scaleyourbusinesstoolkit.com.
Cybersecurity is the fastest growing job sector. The San Diego Mayor's Cyber Cup encourages kids to consider computer security as an interesting course of study and a valuable career path. Securing Our eCity helps lead this youth competition to create interest and awareness among students and their schools. The San Diego Mayor's Cyber Cup. Learn more at securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444.
Do you love wine, but it doesn't love you back in the morning? Then it's time to try Alcotox, the ultimate hangover cure. Alcotox is a dietary supplement that reduces the harmful side effects of alcohol, and it benefits all alcohol consumers, not just those who occasionally overindulge. So now, for less than the cost of a drink, you can wake up hangover-free. To learn more, go to vinvillage.com and let Alcotox make hangovers a thing of the past.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies.